May the 3rd be with you. That's how it goes, right? Nope.
No.
Well, tomorrow, May the 4th. So, but May the 3rd, because that's today.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to TRB. This is the Resistance Broadcast. We are the official podcast of StarWarsNewsNet.com. I'm John Hoey. Thanks for joining us today. Good show today. A lot of cool stories we're going to get into, give our takes on, including stuff on Obi-Wan. But tomorrow, May the 4th, the Star Wars, I guess it's official Star Wars holiday now. They've kind of claimed it as a thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Later in the show, we're going to give our sort of fun guesses, predictions, hopes on what we may hear or see come out of Lucasfilm tomorrow. Because last year they went above and beyond, which usually they don't do. So who knows what's going to happen this year, but we're going to have some fun later in the show talking about that. James and Lacey with me as always. James, what's going on in the world of Grand Admiral Thrawn? Give me the updates.
Last week the book released, Greater Good, right? So I did with Kyle my what happened in book or whatever, and then like a regular book discussion. But the book discussion is cool because we actually do like a review. It's hard to break it up. We do a review at the beginning, we rate it, and we stay away from all the spoilers, and then later we get into the spoiler stuff. So we kind of try to split it up so that if people are interested in it, they could check it out. But not worried about being spoiled. However, if you are interested in being spoiled or just want to know kind of what goes on, we do the what happened in video. And so the Thrawn books are so hard, man. It's like you're trying to explain to people what's going on, but like 50% of the characters just have like ridiculous names, and you're like, you probably have to watch the video a couple times to be like, okay, I think I try to understand what you're talking about.
They have all the apostrophes, right? It's just like random syllables with apostrophes.
Yeah, they do a pretty okay. So like, it's interesting. Like, if my name, like James Baney, like in the Chiss language, my name would be like S Bane, because so it's like the last part of the first thing, and
Is
then
that like Pig Latin?
Sort of. But you can tell what family someone's in by the ES, because I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like Thrawn is a myth, so his name starts with TH because it's the last part of myth. So you can kind of tell who's in what family and stuff just by their shortened name, if you will.
Wait,
Wow.
The last part of which name?
So like Thrawn's name is like Mythron Eurodo, right? But you take the front end off and the back end off, and it's just Thrawn.
So what would he do on his SAT form?
I don't know, John.
Imagine filling in those dots.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, but the idea being
I wouldn't
like
even take the test.
anybody who has a TH at the beginning, or like in this book's case, like an LAK at the beginning, like Lacfro, for instance.
What about an LAC?
He's part of the Zodlak family.
Oh, I guess.
What about Thanos? What would Thanos be?
Thanos would be a myth. That's pretty easy.
There you go.
Yeah. Methanos Sirodo.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Go check out those videos, the book discussion, and the what happened in. I love those because it keeps me up to date on what I need to know for the canon elements, especially because Thrawn's definitely coming to live action. I think that's the worst kept secret.
And you can do Chaos Rising too. So,
yes,
because this is the second book, you want to do Chaos Rising and then do Greater Good.
What's the third one called?
Lesser Evil.
I thought it was called This Is Still Happening.
Yeah, I thought it was like the Still Rising, just because I felt like each one was like, we're peaking.
Still Rising. I like that.
Yes. Yeah.
It's called Lesser Evil Tokyo Drift.
The year will be 2120. We'll all be dead, and Timothy Zahn will have released his 77th Thrawn novel.
Yes.
And the world will be amidst its next pandemic. And that's what's going to happen.
Still blue and killing it.
Still killing it. Still Timothy Zahn, just 300 years old, making money writing those books.
Yeah.
All right, Lacey, what's the deal? Are you fired up for tomorrow? You a little nervous? We'll get into it more later, but what are you vibing on for tomorrow?
Nervous? No. Why would I be nervous?
For the Rey lightsaber thing. You a little worried about that?
I'm not worried. I'm excited to see what comes of tomorrow. And I know that everyone is kind of wondering what we're doing, right? And
Yes.
everyone's like, what are we doing? Because we don't release stuff on Tuesdays normally. We're going to have a contest, so make sure you follow us on Twitter at RBATSWNN and on Instagram at The Resistance Broadcast. We have a shirt that's coming back, which I'll let James talk about. So we have some cool stuff for tomorrow, but we're going to be a little honest here. We're looking forward to Make Solo 2 happen more than Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
It's just because Star Wars Day is like bombardment of Star Wars. It's hard to...
It is. It's sometimes almost a little overwhelming because you have the official stuff and then you have all the like giveaways people are doing.
Partners and brands. Yeah.
Fans.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, we're keeping it simple with bringing the shirt back.
But
and doing,
awesome.
a little bit of giveaway. But yeah, awesome, of course. Yeah, James, why don't you just briefly get into what shirt we're bringing back for that special day? Very on point, in my opinion, with this decision. But
Thank the maker. Yeah.
How sweet
And
is
if anybody
that?
doesn't know, that is a shirt that we have that kind of has like a penny style circle silhouette of George Lucas. It says thank the maker on it. So it was kind of a fan favorite of ours. I know like a lot of people picked it up, and when we moved over to
I
our other
have
merch
one.
company, we didn't bring it over, but it's back tomorrow. So if you are interested in that shirt, if you've seen it around, you want to pick it up, it's just for May the 4th. So pick it up then.
yes. Anything else? Do we need to get into details on the giveaway more than?
Just follow our channels. All the directions will be there.
Perfect. I love that. All right. And last thing, Lacey brought it up. Make Solo 2 happen day. Just a reminder, going to be May 24th. So let's get our Star Wars Day going tomorrow. Rev up the engines, and then a few weeks away, because we are in May now, folks. May 24th. That is a Monday. It is going to be Make Solo 2 Happen Day, and we're bringing that back. We got some special things going on. If you want to be a part of it, do us a favor. Take your phone out, put on some Solo gear, bring your friends, bring your pets, whatever you want to do. 10 to 15 seconds. Explain to us why you love Solo and why you want to see more Han and Chewie adventures and the other characters in a movie or Disney Plus series. Email it to us at resistancebroadcast@gmail.com with the subject Make Solo 2 Happen Day video and your name, and we'll get you involved in something pretty cool on that day. All right.
We're 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
I could do math.
It's
I
crazy.
did
3
math
weeks.
while he was talking.
3 weeks from today.
Today.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
I did.
All right.
24 minus 3, which is today's date, equals 21 divided by 7.
That sounds tough. That sounds like figuring out a name in the
It
chest.
took the whole time you were talking for me to be like, only 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the last part about that is if you want to pick up some merch to get it there in time for Make Solo 2 Happen Day, you probably still have some time because they have been speeding up their shipping. So go to teespring.com/stores/Resistance Broadcast, I believe, and find your Make Solo 2 Happen Gear. We also have the pins, too. So,
Oh, yeah.
grab your-
Resistancebroadcast.com/store.
Is that what it is now? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Go there.
I was
All right.
I was uncertain. I was like, I'm just gonna let this roll. I thought
I gotta
some
brush
things,
up.
but
I mean, they're both right. They're both.
I got to
you're
brush
not
up
wrong.
on the links.
yeah.
Yeah.
So either one works.
All right.
Dealer's choice.
All right. Now it is time to get into our topics for the day in Resistance Report. Right, James?
Yep.
It's the Resistance.
All right, this week we're going to be talking probably mostly about Obi-Wan Kenobi. So who's excited for that? All audio,
Me!
yeah, audio,
Oh, me.
audio people. We all
Audio.
raised our hands.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Well, this week, our good friend Ewan McGregor has been doing a little bit
We're
of.
friends with him?
No,
News for
not me and you. Like our friend is in the fan community. He's a friend to us because he likes Star
wish
Wars.
I
He
was
likes
friends
being
with him.
in Star Wars. He's excited about being in Star Wars. Yeah, he was talking to Hollywood Reporter, and he said a lot of things about his training that's been coming up, how excited he is to be in the show, how it's different from when he was doing the stuff in the past, and he even gave us a little tease, which we can get to earlier, about something that may or may not be happening, but wink wink, it was one of our titles one time. It was definitely happening. So you can think about that and try to see if you can put together what I'm talking about. Lacey, I'm starting with you on this one. You would love to be friends with Ewan McGregor. What did you think about his comments on coming back?
I love that every week we're talking about this now. We've gotten to the point that this show's not coming out for a year and we're talking about it every week. Hells yeah. So first of all, you can't see the photos because we're talking about it, but the photos for this interview are wonderful and he looks pure Obi-Wan with the beard and the hair. And it's just so exciting to see him like really, really happy taking these photos because he's like, this is an Obi-Wan interview.
Yeah.
The thing that stood out to me, which I think it stood out to everybody, was that they're doing 2.5-hour sessions for the past few months every day for sword fighting and lightsaber fights, which makes me think, okay, you can't just be having one battle if you're doing these 2.5-hour sessions. Like, I understand the importance of one battle, but I feel like he's going to have multiple because that's a lot of training. And it's not like he hasn't done it before because, as we know, he did a lot of it in the prequels as well. So I don't know. I can understand getting back up to terms and getting into maybe a new style because he's older now. But, man, I can't wait to see him light up a lightsaber again. I'm so excited. And you know he's been training with Hayden Christensen, which just makes me excited. And I was looking at GIFs and videos online of them training during the prequels, and I just can't wait to see the behind-the-scenes footage because you know they're capturing all of this throughout the whole process of them training for this show, making the show, what it feels like to be back, that kind of thing, to do those gallery type shows once the series comes out. And I think that's going to be my favorite part, as usual, is the behind the scenes stuff more than the actual show itself.
Yeah. John, what are your thoughts on all this?
It just, the more this stuff comes out, especially from him, the more real it feels. And it just, that immediately triggers the excitement because you're starting to really feel the tangible elements of this thing coming into shape.
Absolutely.
And it's, I gotta say, this interview, obviously there's a lot in it. And we just focus on the Star Wars elements at Star Wars Newsnet. But I have to say, in a weird way, I enjoy the prequels very much. The Phantom Menace, I love, and then I like the other two. I like all Star Wars movies, but I gotta say, I appreciate him still not feeling bad about taking a couple of jabs at the prequels because it's almost like we've gone so far over the redemption arc for the prequels that now it's almost feels like you're scared to say anything bad about the prequels because you're going to get jumped on or something. So
when he was like, it's not Shakespeare, I was
exactly.
Like, yeah, it's not.
I loved when he said that. He's like, yeah, his lines were after 3 or 4 months of that, being in front of a green screen, it just gets very tedious, especially when the scenes are, I don't want to be rude, but it's not Shakespeare. And he said, he's like, that's not something you really get into the character set. So I think he's very excited about the realized in-camera environments that are going to be presented. He's talked about that in having visited the Mandalorian set. Hearing him talk about this and him saying, I'm in a better place now, because he was a bit more of a recluse back then in his 20s and 30s. I feel like he's more mature now. He probably appreciates the role more now. Not saying he didn't then, but probably more now as a 50-year-old. I just think
he's
everything
just prepared for it. Like
all aspects.
You're in Star Wars, and all of a sudden it's this crazy thing. But now he's like 50.
Yeah,
I'll be in Star Wars. That's fine. Yeah.
It feels like just everything is happening at the right time for this, and his age being appropriate aside for when he's supposed to be, a certain age for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Just in real life, it just seems like this is the right time, the right venue, the right technology, the right everything for this to happen. And it's going to be something really special. And I think they understood that. And that's why they went through writer changes. They wanted to make sure they got this right. And I'm sure they ran drafts by him and his team went through it. And it's just one of those things where he knew if he's coming back as Obi-Wan Kenobi 17 years after last playing the character, it has to be a home run. And Lucasfilm knows if you're bringing Obi-Wan Kenobi back to do this limited series, it has to be a home run. This cannot be a missed project. And I feel that pressure and urgency is something Kathleen Kennedy's very good at handling. And I think that this will be a very, very special project. I will even say, I think this will be the best version of Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi we will have ever seen, to the point where it may even damper a little bit of what his performance was in the prequels. And the last thing, of course, him coyly answering that question about the young Luke thing and smiling and saying, that's very possible. I don't know. But while grinning saying it. So I think, again,
that's who he is, though. Because they kept being like, are you ever going to play Obi-Wan again? He's like, I don't know. Maybe.
He's like, I would love to come back. I'd love to do it. Yeah. But, worst kept secret is going to be this little Luke. And then once the actual story comes out, everyone's going to say they called it. But we all called it. Let's be honest. We're all in this together, calling young Luke coming back.
I think it's funny, too, because the question was, when you did those tests, did you do them with a young Luke? And he's like, I don't know. It's like, you do know if there was a child there. Yes, you do. You're not answering the question.
Right, exactly.
That's very possible, is kind of answering the question, but then he says, I don't know, which is then just turns into a straight lie, basically.
I could see, like, he's cheeky in a way, and he's very kind of casual in how he handles things. We see him, like, when he dismisses the drama rumors about the show, and he's like, yeah, it's fine. He always feels like he's out at a club having a good time when he's answering these questions.
Or he's straightforward if it's not true. That's what people have to remember, is when they were like, oh, it's shooting in Boston, England. He's like, no, it's not.
Right, and he jokes
so
about
why
his
wouldn't
dad's,
he just say no if Luke wasn't involved?
He's always very distracted with this stuff. Like, I feel like when he did that one where we were talking about Boston, it looked like he was like playing a video game or something.
Right.
If you remember?
His dog's always in the interviews. His dog's always there.
Yeah, and I get to see him like kind of having fun with this, because he knows, this next year when he's promoting this thing is going to be his time to do it. So he's probably going to relish in that fact and have fun, kind of toying with us and that sort of thing. And I'm on board for the ride, because like I said, this thing's going to come and go like that, just like, WandaVision, everyone wanted that, came and gone. Falcon and Winter Soldier came and gone. Mandalorian season 2 came and went. Like, this is going to go by so fast that I am here to put it in cruise control and go for the ride. So whatever he wants to throw at us, and from the PR standpoint, and have fun toying with us, I'm all in.
He's going to be so good on a press tour.
Do you guys think that?
Oh, my God. He's so freaking charming. It's insane.
Yeah.
It annoys me how charming he is.
Do you guys think that Hayden's going to do much press for this?
Yeah. They've already announced him. That's why.
He's going to have to, but he seems the very shy type, so he'll
They're
going
to play them up together in press, I think.
Yeah,
they'll both be on the Tonight Show together, like with lightsabers.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I'm just kind of...
Only because she's announced it. That's why I'm saying that. So Disney's pushing that as the angle of getting people to watch this show.
Because the thing is like, I know we've done like 4 interviews or something with him where he's talked about the show, but I was like... But Hayden's there too, and I feel like people would want to know what his opinion is on this, and he has not yet come out and addressed it.
He did answer
really.
something recently, actually. He said that they're doing training or something like that. It was like a passing comment.
Yeah, and I mean, this isn't much different, but we didn't dive into it. It couldn't have been much.
It's still very curious on how they're gonna do Hayden as Vader. Because you don't need Hayden to be in the suit. So is it going to be cracked mask? Is it going to be maskless? Yeah. Like there's a lot that can go on here. And I'm very curious to what it is.
I can't stop thinking about Inquisitors since James went on a tangent a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I really want to see that. Also, I'm going to cry throughout this whole show.
Well, we don't really know what the roles of, say, Hayden Christensen and Darth Vader are going to be, but we do know a little bit about the set because Star Wars Time was actually able to get a
dynamite segue, Baney.
is able to get some pictures of the set that's in LA, and it's got blue screens and lights and all sorts of other stuff. And there's not, I mean, you can kind of tell what's going on, but the best picture is the one that we have up here on Star Wars Newsnet, as it looks to be what might be the outside of Obi-Wan Kenobi's house. And if you actually dive into the original Star Wars Time article, they break down how they don't think it's like Lars Olmsted kind of thing, so that it all kind of is coming together with that. But Lacey, I want to bounce back at you first. Did you see these like leaked set photos? What did you think? These
1995 taken with a flip phone camera phone pictures?
True,
yeah, I saw them. I just laugh because it's like clearly this person got as close as they could, and even that is still probably miles away, and they're using a lens at the farthest point it can get.
No, it's like me like reaching for my phone, and I'm like, oh, I don't have it. Bennett, let me see your digital camera. Like this little like Mickey Mouse toy camera that actually takes digital pictures.
And I can't help but laugh because, Disney's like trying so hard to not let these things get out. And some guy got it, and they were probably like, did we check the top of that building? Dang it.
Right.
Like, what's going on, Frank?
Well,
Head of
and
security.
look, if you look at the photo, they have the perfect, octagon perimeter of that blue fence, except that one spot, which is
sliver. Yeah.
It's the thermal exhaust port of this set. Like,
and there's a guy standing there too. You can see him just kind of stand there, security, and you're like, come on, guys.
It's like, guys, our blue panel budget fell out. We don't have any more money to finish the fence.
Or it looks like they took the top and instead turned it on its side and wedged it down. To cover it, like.
Oh yeah, maybe it just fell in that crack.
Or it fell in there. I don't know. But what's funny about this is clearly just for exterior shots. Like he's not going to be in that little hut, and they're not filming in there, so they're going to be doing that on the
use that on the
stagecraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, or this is just for model exteriors, and who knows if that's even to scale. Like that, it looks small from here, so I don't know what the scale of all this is. But it's cool that it's there because you only see it for that very brief period of time in A New Hope, and that's it. It's like the sitcom shot of the outside of the house, and then the real inside is a completely different set.
John,
but it's just cool to see. I like it.
If you
it looks
scroll
like the size
down,
of a baseball field.
Well, there's more pictures down at the bottom. There's a couple more, and you can see like where a person is.
Yeah,
it
looks like about a baseball
it,
field.
You can kind of get an idea of distance there. So I would say it looks pretty normal size for what you'd expect based on the picture here from the movie that has like the house and then there's like a land speeder. Like if a person was sitting in that land speeder, it looks about the right height or whatever. Also, I think they did say that there were people out here filming specific scenes. They couldn't make out who anybody was.
Two people, yeah.
Yeah, like kind of confirmed that they have at least begun shooting.
Was one of them a 9-year-old boy?
Yeah, maybe. But at this
also,
distance,
by the way, I
didn't
didn't exactly give my opinion. I just ranted about security. Yes, I think this is very cool. I'm glad that they're using actual sets mixed in with the volume. I think that makes it more realistic. And when we talked to Hal Hickel about the mixture of digital versus practical and the point where as a viewer you can't tell where one stops and one starts, I love that. So I'm in. Also, security sucks.
Yeah, it's not very good. Well, yep, that's exciting about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and there might actually be some news about Mandalorian coming out, possibly. There's a rumor going around right now, which actually stems from a podcast where the host is Nick Baker. I don't know who this person is, but, our research on Star Wars Newsnet says he's a gaming industry insider, and the stuff that he was posting says, oops, I might have... blown my cover here. Anyway, sorry about that. I have some apologizing to do. Yes, they are making a Mandalorian video game. It's coming. Microsoft Game Studios is putting it on. So take that information as you will. It may or may not be true, but I'm going to jump to John first to kind of give his opinion on it. And maybe we'll chat a little bit about maybe what kind of a game we would expect. Like what does this sound like to you, John?
Well, I know games take a very long time to develop. So the question is, if this is the case, you have to assume they always want to strike while the iron is hot. So they must have started developing this when early returns on what they were getting for Disney Plus subscribers and interest in The Mandalorian was really showing legitimacy. So you would have to imagine they started developing on this, assuming this is true. This is, of course, reporting this as a rumor because this is not anything out of any official sources, and we haven't talked to anybody of our contacts. So,
yeah, and there is another leaker out there that kind of also seemingly confirmed this as well,
saying, a bounty hunter game was being developed. Yeah. So I would assume late 2019 was when this thing started to be developed. Again, I'm no expert on video games, but I know that they wouldn't put out a Mandalorian video game after its main run. And I don't know how many seasons the Mandalorian is going to go. My guess would be 4, something like that, maybe 5 at most. So they would have to be well underway with this sort of thing. And it would not surprise me, because anytime you can capitalize on one of your golden gooses, you do it. And, video gaming for Star Wars is always a big appetite. Fans are always looking for the next great game. They're always looking for the next better game. And I get that. I have the games, I haven't really been able to dive in and play them much, but I know it's a huge thing for fans. It would be cool if this was a bounty hunter game where you could do multiplayer thing, even if you're, facing off against other people to get to a bounty. That sort of thing could be a lot of fun. It could be, a very streamlined way to have some fun in that space. So if it is true, I think that'd be pretty cool. Good times. But again, as of right now, it's just a rumor, even though it's coming from 2 different people. But it sounds like it could be a good time and would make sense from a business standpoint, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Lacey, what kind of a game would you expect? And I guess just first and foremost, do you even believe this, or do you think it's likely this is happening?
I think that there's definitely some type of game in the works, maybe not featuring the Mandalorian, but based around the world of the Mandalorian, maybe. I couldn't see... John is completely right that video games take forever. Case in point, Kingdom Hearts 3 took like 15 years to get out.
That's a massive exception.
Was it really that long?
Yeah, I'm using that because I'm so bitter about it.
Yeah.
And I hope people that are listening are too. Bitter.
Yeah, that's not like the long end of game development. There's like...
But it is years though, right?
No, it is years.
It is years.
So the reason I'm saying that is because there is a timeline of how long this show's going to go. Do we know how many seasons of Mandalorian there are going to be? Probably not. Maybe 3, maybe 4 seasons. Well, 3 at least now, but maybe 4, So I could see this maybe being a mobile game. I don't see Microsoft doing a big, crazy, over-the-top game like Battlefront.
Oh, interesting.
And they've been really hot with the mobile games right now of putting those out for Switch and stuff like that. I know it's Microsoft, so it probably wouldn't be a Switch game unless they're making the game for different types of consoles. But I don't know. I can't see them building a full game, but I don't know the details besides, hey, I'm hearing this Mandalorian game is happening. They don't even know what type of game it is.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to open up the door to mobile game, then it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I even...
Because they could have that out quicker.
Yeah, and some people, sometimes they're like, oh, there's a Mandalorian game, or there's a Bad Batch game coming, and it's like, oh, well, they're just being added to like Galaxy of Heroes or something,
Sure,
like,
yeah.
Just weird things like that. But I think that based on the vibe around this, that it is in fact like a full-fledged AAA title.
I would love that.
I mean, it's cool. I would probably do it in a way that it takes place before he meets Baby Yoda, and like the end of the game is like going on that first mission or something like that.
Right,
that we
so
see
it's
in
not
Mandalorian.
connected to the show. You can experience it, but be within the world.
Yeah, so it's Mandalorian, and they'd probably do what they do for like Jedi Fallen Order, where like they're like, oh, it's open world, you can go to all these different planets and stuff, and then when you play the game, it's really like 3 planets. Like you can only really travel between 3 of them. And Mandalorian already kind of does that. They kind of stick to like 3 or 4 different planets that they just keep bouncing back to. So they'd be very familiar to the show. You'd be able to say that was kind of his sector or his realm or whatever. He knew these pretty well. Yeah, and then they wouldn't have to create this huge world or whatever. So that makes sense from a character standpoint, that they can kind of restrict him to this few locations. And I just think it would be fun. Like it would just be like GTA sort of, except for like without the ability to just kind of go wherever you want, but it would be like, you need to talk to this person. This person's like, I need you to track down this guy and get me this thing. And then you go do it. And maybe there's some moral choices you have to make or whatever. Yeah.
Isn't that the show, The Mandalorian?
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Is like,
that's what he's saying.
But yeah, when I say there's some moral choices, it's like, you know how video games are. They like make you be like, do you want to do this or do you want to do this? And that's how games are this
you're gonna
day.
Get chased by 3 cops.
Yeah. I would think because The Mandalorian is sort of that way, that they wouldn't want to make the video game just like that. But maybe I'm wrong. Like, imagine it's even just like a Marvel vs. Capcom where you're just like two bounty hunters like facing off.
See, that's interesting because I have been wondering why there hasn't been a Star Wars fighter.
Star Wars, yeah.
Especially with all the hype around the new Mortal Kombat, like, get in that space.
Yeah. I mean, the last one I can think of.
And I'd play that. Smash the buttons.
Terrace Kasi game, you know?
Terrace Kasi.
Yeah, and it was like really rough.
It was terrible. I would love that Marvel vs. Capcom with Star Wars characters. That'd be fun.
Or what if it was Star Wars versus Mortal Kombat?
Am I crazy? Was there a sort of version of that game where you could play as like Darth Vader and fight like that?
Tearise.
No, you're thinking of Tekken.
There was.
Oh.
Was Vader in that as a cheat or something?
No, it was a character they brought, just like an exclusive. So they did like system exclusive. So the PlayStation 1 was this other game, and then like the Xbox One was Master Chief, and then the other one was And I remember Darth Vader was one of the characters that you could get as like an exclusive. I feel like maybe I'm crazy on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
whatever.
The exclusive character was from Tekken, but the game was Soul Calibur.
Oh, all right.
Anyway, video games.
Anyway, yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, we pretty much talked out the best we can on a rumor of a Mandalorian game coming out at some point.
I just laughed the hardest that the guy was like, "Oh, my bad." I was like, "Yeah, you're bad."
Yeah,
but he didn't delete the tweet, so you know.
Yeah.
It's when people talk. They're talking their thoughts in a tweet. Like, it's like you don't need to type Like you once you have the thought, then you type that.
Yep.
I write in all caps all the time, so I can't make fun of anybody else's tweets.
I do tweet as like I would speak though, like but I not like gee.
I think he was saying like this is awkward.
He was trying to be cute. Yeah, he was trying to be
Yeah.
He's a banana.
No, moving on though, wrapping that up, we wanted to talk a little bit about how Disneyland is kind of in a way cutting down Rise of the Resistance. This isn't too crazy. It looks like basically there's a couple points in the ride where they're trying to speed things up. So if you plan on being there, going through it, like know that you're not going to get like the full.
Don't spoil it to me. Don't spoil it to me.
The full experience. Actually, just to let you know, I was kind of worried about reading this article, Lacey, because I was afraid that things would get popped out, but it really was just.
I was just nervous that they were going to explain which parts you don't get to see, and I didn't want that ruined for me.
Yeah,
I just know they cut it down from 18 minutes to 15 minutes.
Okay, I'll put it this way: there are segments in the experience when you get off the ride and you're kind of just able to hang out in certain areas.
Right, and that's the way that Disney controls the wait time, because they can have people sit at different places while they load the ride, which itself is a long ride.
Yeah, so they've taken out a couple of those segments, and they're trying to like speed people along through that process
because they can't sit there in big groups of people.
Yeah, and it really. To be honest with you, I think you could probably ride it and be like, "Oh, that was cool," but and not really notice that you didn't get like 100% full experience.
I think it's like
they cut it back
thing.
like 95%.
I think it's the picture thing where people like to take the photos of the different spots and like get to be like, "Oh, I was on this ride," and now you miss out on that opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, to give a little bit of understanding what we're talking about here is that the California state requirement for rides, they can't be over 15 minutes. And this ride clocks in at 18. So they're just trying to shave off 3 minutes somewhere here or there. And it's not really that big of a deal. It's not like they cut out the final battle or something like that.
I guarantee the ride will still be over 15 minutes to walk through. They're just going to say it's 15 minutes.
Yeah, there's something along the line just to cut the corners. So it's not really too crazy. John, do you have anything to say about cutting corners?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to... Yeah, I mean, I haven't gone on the ride yet, but I don't care too much about ride spoilers or anything.
I do.
But, no, I know, but they do list, like, the points that are likely going to be cut down, and it's like what you said, James. It's nothing that they say here in the quote. Disneyland officials promise that when the park reopens Friday, the ride's major plot points will remain intact, including lots of explosions, drama, and high-tech mayhem. So, the things being cut out are dwelling spots,
wait a second. There's high-tech mayhem on this? Oh my god.
A lot of high-tech mayhem.
Just got spoiled.
Segments where visitors are waiting to be interrogated by certain bad guys. What?
You just ruined it. Oh
no,
my
I didn't.
god! Yes,
How is
you
that
did.
ruining it?
Because there's only one bad guy in Rise to the Resistance.
Not if you read the article.
Oh my god!
If you read the article,
after
it just
all
says
that, you're such a jerk.
I'll point this out, Lacey.
There's nothing being spoiled. There's nothing being spoiled.
In the image right here of the ride, there are two bad guys.
Yes.
so I don't know.
There's only one bad guy in Force Awakens.
There's First Order officers and stormtroopers all over the place.
Dare you make your point?
Lingering spots.
John, why are you going to the effort to read all these?
Because they're being taken out of the ride. They're not going to be there. So what are we doing? Like now we're going to talk about this deleted scene from The Rise of Skywalker that wasn't in the movie. Don't tell me about it. I'm not going to see it anyway, but don't tell me about it. What are we doing? What are we doing?
It's different though. By
the way, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't touch the ride in Walt Disney World and they leave all this stuff in there. To me, it's cutting the fat. That's what it's doing. It's taking you down from 18 minutes to 15, all the garbage that you don't need to be doing anyway. Like when you go on Star Tours and you got to see R2-D2 and C-3PO there, and you're on that damn line for so long that you hear their same back and forth for the 8 times. It's okay. Everyone's going to be okay.
It's the whole point that James and I did everything we could to not get into the nitty-gritty of what they were cutting. And you were just like, well, it says here.
There's nothing. Literally nothing was just spoiled. Zero of this ride was just spoiled.
I have a friend who absolutely hates spoilers, and his level of what he considers a spoiler is so high that I was talking to him about Star Wars, and I said something along the lines of like, there was a list of characters who die that was leaked, and he got mad because now he knew that people were going to die. And I was like, it's Star Wars, man. How is that even like remotely a leak?
Is different.
I didn't tell you who died. I didn't tell you who died. I told you.
We just talked about
people. This is different
than
that.
Obi-Wan Kenobi's house. Showing up in the Kenobi series.
He said a bad guy interrogates you.
Yes.
This ride takes place in between The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi.
I never said bad guy.
Yes, you did.
I'm reading off the article here. The words bad guy aren't in it. You want me to read the sentence again? I'll do it.
Is it villain bad guy, probably. Something bad?
Segments where visitors are waiting to be interrogated by the First Order.
That's not what you said.
It's right there in the article. Take a look. Enjoy.
Anyway. Let's talk about the other thing, because I'm really excited about the other thing.
There's one other part to this, and they're saying about the queuing system. So definitely check out the article at Star Wars Newsnet if you want to go ride the ride, because a lot of people are really trying to get back into these parks, so it's going to be crowded. Yeah. And there's certain times where you can get the virtual queues, which they're doing at 7 a.m. and noon. But again, Florida has way less restrictions than California. So my guess, there's nothing here saying that this ride's not going to go back to 18 minutes in California or stay at the 15. But there's also no indication that they're changing the ride in Disney World. Now, they may change it to just preserve the continuity, to have the two rides doing the same stuff. But it's possible to keep it 18 minutes at Disney World.
Disney World has never changed any of their stuff except letting less people on the rides.
Yeah, I don't know if this is an extenuating circumstance because of the COVID thing, but I don't know. But yeah, as far as I understand it, the Disney World version will probably be the full thing, being another win for the better Disney park. In my opinion.
Well, it's the state. It's not Disney World.
Yeah.
No, I just like Disney World better. So I'll always.
You've never been to Disneyland.
That's true. That is true. But I've been to Disney World.
Bigger. You guys know I've never been to that park in California, right? But I have been to Disneyland. Disneyland Paris, baby. All right.
I really want to go to Disneyland Paris.
Wow.
I missed my chance to go, but oh well.
Yeah.
Another time.
All right, we got another story here, and it has to do with...
People are going to go nuts about that discussion we just had.
John, you ruined the ride for me.
I did not. Everyone, leave in the comments whether I ruined the ride for Lacey or not, and don't ruin the ride in the comments.
I can't wait till we go to ride that ride, and whatever part that is, when I know what it is now, it happens. You can film my reaction of saying, "See, John ruined it."
All right,
Lacey,
person who spoiled who ruined
the end of
Kylo Ren's death for me.
At the end of Tower of Terror, the elevator drops. News for you.
This is different, and you know it's different.
You listen to Aerosmith music on the Aerosmith roller coaster.
It's different. I haven't been to Galaxy's Edge yet. I want to enjoy the experience.
You on the Millennium Falcon? You're right.
Do you understand? I've avoided spoilers this entire time of Rise of the Resistance.
I didn't spoil anything, so let's just.
You're giving me a hard time about it, but I've avoided this entire time.
Standing my ground.
So the cruise line.
Are we allowed to talk about this?
Yes, we are, because it doesn't avoid have spoilers of what happens.
Start with Lacey
actually,
on this one.
to be honest with you, I felt like they talked a lot about this experience, and I was like, save some for the people who are going to see it. He was
don't
like,
take John's side on this.
No. It's just coincidental that like they talk about. Okay, so let's clear up what we're talking about here. They announced today that there was going to be something called the Hyperspace Lounge, which is on their like Star Wars cruise line thing that they're doing, and the idea stemmed from a place where adults could go to kind of live the Star Wars reality, because kids get to do it all day everywhere, in all sorts of situations, but in this particular thing that they wanted to create, it was supposed to be adult oriented and only adults were allowed in. So it'll have like specific drinks and has a very specific style built to capture a certain era. We can get into all this, but anyway, the interesting thing about it was that there's this big window in the back that has like these really cool displays of like different planets you're passing by and things that happen. And they say that there's like 7 unique things that happen. And then they proceeded to tell you like all 7 of them. And I'm like, leave some for the people who are going there. I mean, if you want to tell me like one, you're like, okay, they're going to
John.
No, if you want to tell me like they're going to Tatooine and you're going to see a familiar piece of junk fly through the space. Okay, I'm like, I get it.
What he basically said was, you're going to Tatooine and you're seeing a little farm boy. You're like, oh, okay, it's obviously Luke Skywalker. That's literally
Could
what
be
John
Anakin.
did.
Could be Anakin.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, reading this article though, they went into like every specific thing, including like the grand finale that they were really proud of. He like tells the whole story of how it all takes place and how it wraps up and everything. And I'm like, this is pretty wild for them to tell you basically everything that happens in this experience.
Please come on a cruise.
Just in this article. Yeah. So, I don't know who to start with on this one, Lacey, I guess.
Me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously, you liked, I saw on your Twitter, you liked the design of this.
Oh my God, James, thanks for following me.
I do follow Lacey on Twitter.
I wish audio listeners just saw the face James gave me when I said that. All right. Yeah, so I saw a picture of this because someone had taken a picture out of the article and tweeted it out before I read the article. And I was like, oh man, that has total First Light vibes from Dryden Voss's ship in Solo. And that's so cool. Like even the seats match from his area where he like interrogates Han at the beginning with Beckett. It's the same couches with the same designs. And I remember I saw a couple people being like, oh, this is so Canto Bight. And I was like, no, this is definitely Dryden Voss. And then I read the article and they were like, well, it's inspired by Dryden Voss with his collections. And I was like, yeah, I feel smart yet dumb at the same time.
To be fair, they said Canto,
both.
They said Canto.
They say Canto Bight too.
Do they? Oh,
and
well,
the other thing too, just another clarification is this is a visual, what's it called? Art or something. Concept art. So it might actually be things taken straight from the movies as the artist wanted to represent it. But like
the whole experience of like having
a little different.
Yeah, well, the whole thing of them having like the collections and stuff was Dryden Voss. And the idea that there's a bar and there's a party is very Dryden Voss. And to me, it looked more like that than Canto Bight. But anyway, this would be super cool to do. Disney Cruise Lines are not cheap. I can tell you that. So I don't know if I'll ever make it there.
Send TRB to the Disney Cruise Line.
Yeah, when cruises are but the cruise industry is in trouble right now. So hopefully it'll be a little bit cheaper.
Today. I'll go right now.
Oh yeah.
I'm in.
Anyway, yeah, I can't wait to go eventually in life, maybe.
Yeah.
So quick question, maybe because now I feel like I'm out of the loop here. Disney did announce a new cruise ship or cruise line thing today, and this is not part of that, right? This is part of that special Star Wars Connected to Galaxy's Edge fake cruise line thing, right?
I thought this was in the cruise ship.
Yeah, this is on the Disney Cruise Line.
This isn't the hotel. This is the cruise line.
Yeah, this is basically the Star Wars attraction on their cruise line.
Okay. All right. So I never picked that up from the article, interestingly enough. And I read it all. But to me, every time they said cruise line or Disney Cruise Lines or something, I was like, oh, they're just talking about the
Galactic Star Cruiser.
Galactic Star Cruiser thing.
Yeah.
This is the Disney Wish ship that is launching in summer 2022.
Have you guys been on a cruise before? Have you guys?
I have not.
I did, and I'm not a fan.
So the reason I'm saying that is because on any cruise, not just Disney, any cruise, they always have areas that are just kids. They have areas that are just adults. I'm assuming, especially on Disney Cruise Lines, there's a lot of just kid areas or very kid-friendly areas. So it's no surprise that when they make a bar or a lounge that's higher up on the ship for adults, it's going to be Star Wars themed because that's cooler than it's a princess theme lounge, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Disney Princess Bar.
I mean, it could be cool. I don't know. It depends
bar.
on the princess. It depends on the bar. I guess.
Yeah. So interesting.
I mean, Princess and the Frog could have like a really cool voodoo bar if you really wanted to get into.
What about
themes.
like a Pirates of the Caribbean type bar would be kind of cool. I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
Star Wars is better, John.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying. You know.
Yeah, they definitely could. Pull a couple things.
I would love. I hope. I mean, I would do.
I mean, they could make it like a Wakanda bar or something. You know, I mean, they could do tons
should
of
go.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
We should go. We should make that pact right now. Let's go.
Go on this cruise?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Some of the cruises are only like 3 to 5 days.
Not this new one, probably.
Oh. You guys can bring your fams. It'll be great.
Yeah. I was thinking price-wise would be really expensive because it's the new ship and everything. Yeah. Man, I did not piece that together. I skipped over this image. It very clearly says Disney Wish. I never picked up on that. And there's a giant image of a boat in the middle. Article. Yeah, that's how I think it reads. Yeah. And then there's a giant ship in the middle. And I remember thinking, weird, that must be like another ad, like just for something else. I really thought this was the Disney Cruise Line, or I'm sorry, the Galactic Star Cruiser thing. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So, yeah, I wasn't paying attention, I guess. Anything else on that before we get to the last couple things?
Nope.
Nah.
All right. A few more things that we wanted to talk about. That's pretty much it for the news. But we wanted to mention that Matt Lanter, who voices Anakin Skywalker, famously in the Clone Wars, was doing an interview with Entertainment Weekly as he's talking about his new show, Jupiter Legacy. So if you want to go check that out. But he very clearly stated that he is currently working on something that he's not really allowed to talk about that has to do with Lucasfilm animation. And that he's not done with doing Anakin. You're definitely going to hear him coming back as Anakin, which is really, really interesting. He says he never really puts the character down, whether he's doing a video game or something specific for that department, Lucasfilm Animation. So,
Nice.
So yeah, he pretty much guaranteed that he is coming back because he's already working on the project, which is really interesting. So speculate away what you think that could possibly be.
Which, as we know from just talking with other people who've worked on previous Lucasfilm animation projects, he could be doing something that we're going to see in 2023 or 2024.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's possible. These are a couple years out because Resistance, I believe they finished in 2017, right? And it's season 2, and that came out last year or whatever. So, yeah. Cool.
They're probably working on the show that's after Bad Batch. They're that far in advance.
They're just going to keep it going.
Yeah. Yep. But it's all still Clone Wars again. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention too is that speaking of Bad Batch comes out tomorrow. And I have a spoiler-free review of the first episode up on StarWarsNewsNet.com if you want to go check that out. And tomorrow I will put out a video, the Bad Batch reaction show, and I will be talking about my feelings on it and there will be spoilers in that. So be careful if you're watching that. It's very similar to what we did with Clone Wars Fan Show. But as soon as you get into it, I'm going to be like, wow, that was so crazy when spoiler right away.
That part in the ride happened. And then, all of us.
When the Bad Batch was interrogated by a First Order officer. Anyway. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, if you guys want to check that out.
Just so you guys know, the dog is holding the keys for the pirates to get out of their prison cell. That's one of the scenes.
You're such an idiot.
All right, well, that's it for the news this week. And I'm going to send it over to Lacey to tell us a little bit about the Patreon pod race.
Dog is holding the keys. Guys, it's time for the Patreon pod race. So there are lots of different ways you can support us. You can like this video, comment, subscribe, follow us on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at RBATSWNN. Follow us on Instagram at The Resistance Broadcast. Like we said, we're going to have a contest tomorrow for May the 4th, so make sure you follow us there and then just give you updates on what's to come in the next few weeks leading into Make Solo 2 Happen Day. If you want to be a part of the community even more and see more stuff from us, like exclusive videos, mailings, much more, you can head over to patreon.com/resistance broadcast. Starting at $2 a month, you get access to the page and all the cool content. And then as you go up in the ranks, you get more perks. So this part of the show lets the generals be a part of the show, which is our top tier. And first, I'm going to say thank you to them. So thank you, CARMELO, Andrew Staley, Jeremy Myers, Neil Shaw, David Probus, John Reese, Micah Harrison, Jetta Rosewater, Michael Gaines, Kendall Gelnar, Paul Olson, Jake Houchins, Jeff Connery, Oliver Lewis, Dave Hornack, Frank Grande, Ryan Wara, Haas Aslam. Is it Haas or Haas? God
Haas.
Damn it.
Haas. Like, take another pass at that, Lacey.
Haas Aslam. Joe Ritchie and Val Trichkoff, thank you guys so much for your support. Haas is going to kill me. I'm so sorry. This week, we have a new general in the rotation slot, so we're really excited. We have Frank, and we asked him, what is your all-time favorite Yoda scene and why? And this is his chance to answer the question and be a part of the show. So, Frank, take it away.
Hey guys, how's it going? Great question. Difficult one because I can't honestly think of a single scene in all of Star Wars where Yoda just wasn't fantastic. From his fight with Darth Sidious to feeling all the Jedi fall during Order 66. Man, he's just great. But my all-time favorite scene has to be in Empire Strikes Back on Dagobah when Luke is trying to raise the X-Wing and he can't. And Yoda explains to him and to the audience what the power of the Force really is. And then Luke doesn't believe him, says that is impossible. So Yoda comes in and raises the X-Wing. And to me, that's always been a lesson to say that no matter what kind of physical difficulties you're going through in life, that as long as you believe in yourself, anything is possible. So that's my favorite all-time scene of Yoda. So thanks, guys. I appreciate everything you do, and I love everything you do. Take care.
Nicely done, Frank. Welcome to the show. We're excited to have you. John, what did you think of his answer?
Great answer. Obviously, I'm a huge Empire Strikes Back fan. My favorite Star Wars movie. Make Lacey jealous with the mug. I think that's a great scene without question. It is one of those just legacy scenes for Star Wars, but also how you kind of positioned it as a lesson for real life, that it doesn't matter, what's going on with you or how big you are, how small you are, what may be wrong with you or what deficiencies you have. It doesn't matter as long as you believe in yourself. And I think that's a great lesson to take away from that scene with Yoda and Luke. So I think you made a great answer there. And appreciate the kind words. Appreciate you being a general. And you did a great job, man. First pod race, you knocked it out of the park. Clear, crisp. Your voice sounds fantastic. And you did a wonderful job. I also love the Batman hat, dude. So good job. And I'll see you in in the chats and our Zoom calls too.
James?
I was really excited when you said this because this is one of my go-to like favorite lines of the.
Yeah, you've talked about this before.
Yeah, the funny thing to me is just the specific thing where like Luke is saying I don't believe it from a different standpoint of like, wow, I can't believe that happened, and him and Yoda flipping it on him and says that is why you fail. And so, yeah, you almost have to go back and think about like, what did he mean by that? And it's like, oh, because I don't believe it. And I have to believe it, that it's possible. Yeah, and you have to rethink Luke's dialogue there. So it's a really good, well-written piece. John will like to hear that because that's his guy who put that together. But yeah, no, I love this scene, and I think you were spot on when you said it. So I was really glad to hear you go in that direction and make that one your favorite Yoda scene. Good job. Glad to have you, and good pod race. Yeah.
Frank, awesome job. As someone that's 5'4" and 3/4, I appreciate knowing that my size matters. That people can't judge me because I'm so short. And that's awesome. Also, you did a really good job, and it's awesome to have you in the community. And if I say awesome again, yeah. All right, now we're going to go John. Bye.
Okay. Yeah, so last week we kind of toyed around with the idea of doing a more open chat between the three of us on topical things going on with Star Wars or really whatever we want. And I thought because tomorrow is May the 4th, and don't worry, Ask the Resistance will be back. We're just taking a little hiatus there. Because, you know, there's not a lot of Star Wars going on, and a lot of times the best questions come forth when there's things going on. But there's a lot of things coming up, and one of those things is tomorrow, May the 4th. So I just wanted to see what you guys were thinking in terms of, I'm not saying like let's try to make guesses here, because obviously this podcast comes out today and it's the day is tomorrow. But, you know, last year they gave us a bit more than we're used to on May the 4th. I think a lot of people were surprised by the type of announcements they gave, where usually May the 4th there's a lot of hype and not a lot goes on in terms of official show announcements or anything like that. They released the Bad Batch announcement, all that sort of stuff. This year, I'm just kind of, whether it's merchandise or projects or anything, do you guys have any kind of thoughts on or hopes on what we may get? Now, Lacey, I know obviously you have the lightsaber, so I'm going to start with James actually on this. Do you have anything that you hope to see or things you think we might get a glimpse of or anything like that?
Some really good promo for Andor, and I don't know what that means, but I think it's clips. Like, I think you'll see like a little trailer or something. At least that's what I would hope. I think that's the one that I think could really turn people's heads. Although Book of Boba Fett, I guess, is there too, in that like it's close kind of thing.
That's the one I think we're gonna get a little teaser clip, like a 30-second thing for Book of Boba Fett.
The only reason that
I think it's gonna be both. I think it's going to be a collection of all the stuff they're working on, and it's going to be like the galaxy is growing or something, and then clips of all the different things they're working on, and then they're going to end with Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm. I mean... Wait.
Like a photo of him?
No, like behind-the-scenes footage and stuff, like all the stuff that they're working on. You know, as like, hey, there's a lot of stuff going on, the galaxy's getting bigger, we have all these cool things. They're going to show all the people coming back for all these projects, so then they don't have to focus on one. They can give you a little bit of each thing, and then people are going to take the video and make GIFs of each part that they like.
So you're saying a big across-the-board Star Wars Disney Plus montage?
I was going to say everything Star Wars. Animation, Disney Plus, movies.
Oh, well, yeah. Animation is Disney Plus, but yeah.
I was going to say everything.
All right.
And it's only going to be about a minute. They could literally film a minute with just clips here and there about like how the galaxy is.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
There are just stories that
or
are
just
coming.
Like Tamara Morrison doing an interview and it's not even from the show. He's like, I'm excited to be the character again, yeah, or something.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, all right, cool.
They could rest their laurels on Bad Batch, James, I guess, because that is going to be a big topic. But you're thinking there's going to be more.
There's enough promotion around Bad Batch and it being like them releasing the episode that's enough coverage in that sense. But I think
I mean using Bad Batch as the big thing for tomorrow.
Nah, I wouldn't think that.
I don't either.
leads,
I'm just but devil's advocate. Yeah.
The reason I went with Andor over Boba Fett though is because I feel like even though we've got Rogue One, like Andor is more curious because we know what Boba Fett's going to be like in this era. We've seen him before. We've already seen that on screen. So if they showed us clips, I mean, yeah, it would be like kind of getting like a season sneak peek, and you might see characters and things like that. That's interesting. But I feel like we already kind of got that vibe going with Mandalorian. So that's why I was leaning towards Andor, because it seems more interesting to me.
All right.
I think they're shooting enough of everything that they could throw everything together. Like, we were talking earlier in the show about the photos of what could be Obi-Wan's house. Like, they could easily take a clip of that and have it ready to go by next week, like a 10-second clip, and then just be like, this is what's coming.
Lacey, are they announcing the Rey Skywalker lightsaber tomorrow?
I don't know. I am excited. So Hasbro's doing their live stream at 11 a.m. Eastern with a bunch of people from the team, where they'd said in FanFest that they were going to do more announcements on Star Wars Day, and they said it was a bigger holiday than the FanFest. So I think they withheld some stuff to hold on to for Star Wars Day, because I felt the announcements were cool on FanFest, but they were kind of just like, where are the things that people have been asking for, which is like sequel stuff, I don't know.
Well, I feel like sequel is the big stuff. They said people were asking for Antok Merrick X-Wings, so...
They might have in forums and stuff. I haven't seen people ask for that, but I'm not in the toy forums, so I don't know. But I just feel like everybody's been asking for like Ben Solo Black Series, the Rey lightsaber, obviously, which I've been asking for, but other people have too. I just feel like there's a lack of Rise of Skywalker stuff, but then also people want more Solo, more Rogue One. So
I wonder if that was a very specific question, like if they're like, of all the X-Wings that we've made that you haven't seen yet, which one would you like? And they're like, I don't know, maybe the blue leader from Rogue One. And they're like, boom, highest requested one. It's like,
They're really good though about listening to fans, because I'll never forget in 2018, was it 2018? Yeah, 2018, when I interviewed them at San Diego Comic-Con for Star Wars Newsnet. One of our listeners had asked about General Grievous, and they had a General Grievous by October at New York Comic-Con that year. And I had guessed it because they were like, we've been asked about this, and I was like, oh my gosh, is this what our listeners were asking for? Which is a cool thing, because you ask them about it, and then a few months later, there it is. So I do think they listen. I just think that Star Wars Day, aka tomorrow, is going to have stuff that people really... I think they're going to announce a Ben Solo figure, and I think that they're going to announce the Rey yellow lightsaber.
Maybe that.
A Ben Solo figure, that'd be interesting.
One thing they...
Black Series, yeah.
One thing they will not announce is probably this. So, just a reminder, May 24th makes Solo 2 Happen Day. Take to your social media accounts and use the hashtag all day. But tomorrow, make sure you are following us on our social media accounts and looking for our giveaways and our little fun going on tomorrow. Also, remember the Thank the Maker, our tribute to George Lucas t-shirt, is going to be back just for tomorrow. So if you want to pick that one up, you've been seeing us wearing it, seeing people wear it at Celebration. That's the time to grab that one before he vanishes with his Starbucks cup into the recesses
before he fades away into the Force.
Exactly. Not in real life, just in the t-shirt. Okay, that pretty much brings us to the end of the show here. So we want to thank everybody for listening, watching, being a part of the Resistance. Make sure you do subscribe to the show, like Lacey said before, all of your audio podcast platforms, in addition to our YouTube channel, StarWarsNewsNet.com for all of your Star Wars news, reviews, editorials, information, and more. You can find me on Twitter at Johnny Hoey, writing and editing at Star Wars Newsnet, and my movie podcast, Just Like the Movies, where we're going to be doing Ghostbusters next week. So that should be a good time. All right, James.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Myra Trunks, and also, like we said before, on StarWarsNewsNet.com. The article about the Bad Batch, that's a spoiler review, that's up today. Tomorrow, the Bad Batch reaction show, where you can get a, you just watch the episode, now come listen to what I have to say about it. My thoughts.
Nice. Right on. Lacey.
People can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Lacey Gilleran.
All right, we will be back on Thursday. We're speaking of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. We're going to talk about just how much nostalgia we're going to be getting in this 6-part series. So we're going to have a fun discussion on that. But have a wonderful Star Wars day. Celebrate it to the ends of the galaxy. And we'll see you Thursday morning right here on the Resistance broadcast. We'll see you around, kids.